starts in a room that smells like sweat and rubber. You're 8, maybe 9. The gloves don't fit. Your headgear slips when you move. But you throw punches anyway, because something about this place feels real. More real than school. More real than whatever's waiting for you at home. The ring is small, ropes sagging, floor soft, but it might as well be Madison Square Garden. You don't know much about footwork or balance yet, but you know what it feels like to get hit. You know how to bite down and swing back. That's all you need for now. You train in oversized shoes and hand-me-down gear. You punch until your knuckles go raw through cheap wraps. You jump rope until your calves scream. You do it again the next day and the next. Because this is how it starts for most of you. Not with sponsors or scholarships, but with an old coach yelling numbers in a basement gym, with posters of Mike Tyson, Roberto Duran, and Sugar Ray Leonard peeling off cracked concrete walls. You stare at those faces like they're gods. You believe, deep down, that you can be one of them. And that's how it grabs you. Not with promises, but with hope. You're the quiet kid, the one with bruised shins and a short fuse. You don't talk much, but you move sharp. Your jab gets faster. Your hook lands heavier. Coach nods. One kid drops, then another. You feel something shift. And just like that, boxing becomes your language. The school doesn't get you. Teachers say you're distracted. Your mom tells you to stay out of trouble. But the gym doesn't care about any of that. It cares about your timing, your discipline, your chin. So you give it everything. Gloves before homework. Roadwork before sunrise. No parties, no distractions. You're chasing something. You don't know exactly what, but it feels important. Like legacy, like escape. You study Ali's grace, Tyson's violence, Mayweather's precision. You mimic Pacquiao's chaos, arms always moving, always bouncing. You want to be all of them at once, and more. But the world outside the ring doesn't care who you admire. The world outside is still broke. Your fridge still hums empty. Your school shoes still squeak when you walk because they're 2 sizes too small. You're still just a kid hoping that maybe, just maybe, this thing you love will love you back. And then comes your first real fight. Crowd small. You're fighting in a rec center that smells like popcorn and bleach, but your hands are taped. Your name's on a card, your family's in the bleachers. You win. Barely. Split decision, nose bleeding. But it feels like the world cracked open, like the legends on your gym wall might make room for you one day. You walk around with swollen lips and a medal that costs 50 cents to make, and you've never felt more alive. You think, this is how greatness starts. But you don't know yet. You don't know how long the road is, how much it will take, how much it will break. You just keep walking, because you're all in now. It doesn't take long before the gym becomes your entire universe. You wake up when it's still dark outside, cold air in your lungs, old sneakers slapping against cracked pavement. You run until your legs go numb, until the sun comes up, or your alarm does, whichever comes first. Your friends start disappearing, not because they leave you, but because you leave them. Parties, sleepovers, video games, those don't exist anymore. What exists is the double-end bag, the heavy bag, the ring, the ritual. Coach is always waiting, stoic, watchful, telling you to do it again, but better. Punch sharper, move smarter, keep your chin down, hands up, breathe right. You stop hearing your name. Now you're just kid. The days start blending. Wake up, run, eat, train, eat, sleep, repeat, wake up again. This is what sacrifice looks like long before it pays off. And even then, there's no guarantee it ever will. You win your amateurs. Locals first, then regionals. Then the gloves. The real ones. Golden gloves. You feel like maybe this is it. Maybe you're next. The crowd starts saying your name. You feel the rush. The eyes. The cameras. Not big ones, but big enough. Then you look up. Canelo is selling out Vegas. Gervonta is cashing 7-figure purses. Ryan Garcia is on ESPN, trending before he even steps in the ring. You watch their highlights at night and wonder what separates you from them. Is it talent, timing, or just luck? You're 18 now, or 21, or 24. Depends how fast or slow the ladder moved. But either way, you're grown and broke. People think boxers make money, that you get paid just to show up. But most of the time, you're fighting for a 4-figure check that disappears before you can frame it. Promoters take their cut, trainers, managers, gym fees, travel. You're lucky if there's gas money left. But you keep going. Because this is what you've chosen. Or maybe this is what chose you. You're boxing in high school gyms, tribal casinos, parking lot tents. You've taken fights on 3 days' notice. You've cut 12 pounds in a sauna, wrapped in garbage bags just to make weight. You've gone toe-to-toe with someone who lied about their record and found out the hard way. Every fight is a risk. A risk you'll lose. A risk you'll get hurt. A risk you'll never come back the same. but also a risk that maybe, just maybe, someone important will be watching. So you keep your head down and work. You tape your wrists even when they're sore. You shadow box until your shoulders go numb. You throw punches in silence because talking wastes breath you can't afford to lose in the late rounds. You tell yourself, this is how champions are made. Even though you know it's also how most of them are broken. You're not blind. You've seen the guys who came before you. You've seen what this sport does to people. The punch-drunk vets with slurred speech and twitching hands. The ones who stayed too long, who gave everything and got nothing back. Still, you lace up. Because there's always one more fight. One more chance to prove you're not like the rest. You believe it's coming, but the phone's been quiet lately, and your body's not healing like it used to. You used to shadowbox with swagger. Now you do it to check what's still working. Your right shoulder clicks when you jab. Your left wrist locks up if you twist too hard. You hide it from your coach, your sparring partners, even yourself. But every round reminds you, you're not 19 anymore. You tell yourself it's normal, just wear and tear. But deep down, you know. Boxing doesn't age you. It breaks you. Quietly. One sparring session at a time. You've got a winning record, but no one cares. You've got 10 fights under your belt, maybe 15, but no big name promoters calling. Your DMS are empty. The sponsors dried up after your third split decision loss. You're still grinding, still watching tape, still waking up sore, still sparring guys 10 pounds heavier. But it's starting to feel like you're chasing something that keeps stepping further away. And it's not just your body turning on you, it's the silence. You remember the roar of the crowd in your early fights, even if it was just 200 people and folding chairs. Now it's dead air between rounds. You walk out to your entrance song in some strip mall ballroom and realize no one's filming, no one's posting, no one's watching. Then you open your phone and see Jake Paul trending. He's fighting a retired MMA guy in a sold-out arena. You've fought 10 real boxers and never even had a ring girl hold your name card. You start to wonder if the sport even cares about the craft anymore, or if it just wants characters. Meanwhile, your cuts don't close as clean. Your jaw still clicks from that one overhand you didn't see coming. Your balance is a little off. You lie to yourself and say it's the flu, the heat, the shoes. You know better. You've watched the tapes, studied Tyson's collapse, Roy Jones Jr.'s late fights, Meldrick Taylor's post-career interviews. You know what this sport does when it's done with you, and you start to ask the question every fighter dreads. Am I chasing a dream, or am I just the warm-up fight? Your coach doesn't say it, but you feel it. The way his eyes linger too long when you miss the pad. The way he tells you to take it easy today a little more often. The way your name isn't mentioned when the promoters stop by. You still train. Still put your mouthguard in like it's armor. But the magic? It's fading. The glow you had, the one that made people believe, you're not sure it's still there. You look in the mirror before a fight, flex your jaw, roll your shoulders, bounce on your toes. But you can feel the doubt now, like a second skin. And once it's on you, it's hard to shake. You still walk to the ring, still nod to the ref, still touch gloves and dig in. But now every round feels like you're fighting two opponents. The guy in front of you, and the voice in your head asking how much longer you can keep this up. You finally get the call. Not Vegas, not MSG, but it's televised, barely. A low-tier card wedged between a beer commercial and a rerun of a regional MMA event. Still, it's something. A payday. Exposure. You tell your girl you'll make rent this month without borrowing from your cousin. You tell your coach, this is it. But it's not. It's another 4-rounder in a ballroom with stiff lighting and soggy ropes. The gloves feel heavier than usual. The canvas is sticky underfoot. You're fighting some kid 10 years younger who went viral for knocking out a guy on TikTok. You've seen his highlight reel, 3 uppercuts, all from the same angle. But he's undefeated. You're the test. That's what you've become now. The guy they use to check if someone else is the real deal. You lose by majority decision. Again. You thought you did enough in the third, but you know how this works. His name was trending. Yours wasn't. You cashed the check anyway. It's just enough to clear your overdue gym fees and stock the fridge. What's left? Gas, groceries, maybe some muscle cream for the rib you bruised on that last body shot. No one asks how you're feeling. They never do. Because fighters are always supposed to be good, tough, durable, warriors. So you pop some ibuprofen, ice your face, and try not to limp in public. You wake up the next day and eat oatmeal through a jaw that doesn't close all the way. You pretend your head isn't throbbing. You pretend your left hand doesn't go numb when you grip a spoon. You tell yourself, next fight, next check, just keep moving. But your body remembers. Every punch, every round, every cut they glued shut in the locker room. You've got cartilage damage in your shoulder, microfractures in both knuckles, and the dull, lingering fog in your brain that you won't talk about, not even with yourself. You hear the stories, fighters with slurred speech in their 40s, depression that doesn't lift, memory gaps. You think of Gerald McClellan, of Meldrick Taylor. Even the greats weren't spared. And still, you keep lacing up. Because what else are you supposed to do? This is all you've ever known. This is what you built your life around. This ring, this pain, this chase. You scroll through social media and see Tyson Fury talking about mental health. You respect it, you do. But he had millions to fall back on. You don't. You've got maybe 2 more fights before your body says enough, and no safety net when it does. You think of the friends who left the sport already, the ones who work construction now, drive trucks, sell insurance, guys who used to throw bombs in the gym, now walking around with a limp and a mouthful of regret. You don't want that. But it's catching up to you. You can feel it in your neck, your spine, your vision when the lights are too bright. Still, you're not done yet. Because maybe the next fight is the one. Maybe it gets you noticed. Maybe it opens a door. Maybe, just maybe, you punch through. And if it doesn't, you'll take the painkillers, cash the check, and tape your hands up all over again. You've walked to the ring more times than you can count. Through locker rooms that smell like menthol and ammonia, past corners filled with nervous energy and half-empty water bottles. You've heard your name called, sometimes loud, sometimes barely more than a mumble from a tired announcer, and every time you told yourself this might be the one that changes everything, but it never was. Now you're 30-something with the bones of a man twice your age. You're not broke, but you're not comfortable either. You've made just enough to keep chasing it and not enough to ever stop. Your face is still handsome in the right light, unless someone looks close. Then they'll see the scars around your eyes, the flattened nose, the jaw that doesn't open all the way. You still smile for pictures, but you try not to laugh too hard. It hurts sometimes. You look at the guys who made it. Floyd, Canelo, Tyson, they're legends. They had the right mix of skill, timing, and people behind them. You don't hate them, you respect them. But when people ask why you never made it there, you don't know what to say. Sometimes it was a bad decision on the cards. Sometimes it was a cut that wouldn't close. Sometimes it was just life. A missed call, a wrong turn. A manager who promised things he couldn't deliver, a promoter who disappeared. You gave it everything. Your youth, your time, your body, your mind. You fought hurt. You fought sick. You fought guys you shouldn't have had to fight. You were the underdog, the gatekeeper, the afterthought. You took short notice fights because rent was due. You trained on empty stomachs and iced your hands in motel sinks. But you never quit. Even when your friends told you to hang it up. Even when your girl left because she couldn't watch you lose again. Even when your parents stopped coming to your fights because it scared them too much. You kept going. Because boxing isn't just a sport. It's a sickness, a calling, a religion. And you believed. You always believed. Even when your brain started feeling foggy. Even when your hands shook when tying your shoes. Even when you forgot simple things, like where you parked your car after training. Still, you'd tape up again. Still, you'd run in the cold, in the rain, in silence. Still, you'd climb through those ropes, touch gloves, and fight. Because for all the pain, there were moments. Small ones, powerful ones. A clean uppercut that silenced a crowd. A comeback win, a kid asking for your autograph, a coach saying, "That was the best you ever looked." You never got a belt, never headlined, never made the millions. But you made memories, and that has to count for something. You sit in your old gym sometimes watching the new kids hit the bag. You see the same fire in their eyes, the same hunger. You want to tell them everything, warn them. But you don't. Because you know they won't listen. You wouldn't have. You just nod, wrap your hands slowly, and maybe, just maybe, shadowbox for a few more rounds. Because it never leaves you. And maybe that's the hardest part. Not the injuries, not the losses, but knowing that even after all this, you still love it, still need it, still dream about one more fight, even if it breaks you, even if it already has. That's why it sucks to be a boxer.